Well, it's official. A city-recognized homeless tent community with great views of City Hall. If this doesn't say everything about San Francisco, I don't know what does. If you're trying to give Republicans a whole bunch of free ammunition, good work. If you're trying to appease the lefties, you're failing even worse. In my opinion, San Francisco is just failing all around. Let's discuss. So last month, I made an episode about how the city of San Francisco is addressing the homeless crisis during the pandemic. I talked about the efforts the city has made and about how one neighborhood in particular, the Tenderloin, was in big trouble. Well, since then, the city has put more people in hotel rooms, but not that many. And the media has jumped on the fact that the city itself was providing drugs and alcohol to the new residents of said hotel rooms, something that makes perfect sense to me. Just because you have a place to stay all of a sudden doesn't mean that you're not still addicted, and it defeats the purpose of trying to quarantine people if you're then going to have them jonesing for a fix they can only get outside of the hotel. Well, on May 13th, the city made an official temporary safe sleeping village between the public library and the Asian Art Museum. There is physical distancing and amenities available, such as showers and restrooms. Residents can only enter through 2 openings in the fenced-off area that are staffed 24 hours a day. These are mostly the same homeless people that were already sleeping in their tents on the sidewalks nearby. According to SF Gate, occupants are individuals who were already established in the City Hall area. According to the article, there has been a 71% increase in tents citywide and 285% in the Tenderloin neighborhood since January. Some have blamed this on the fact that staying in shelters poses even more of a risk of contracting the virus. In comparison to the video I shot last month, driving down the same street around the same time of day, it does seem that there is less foot traffic and congestion in general. But according to this article from Mission Local, everything that is happening is about 2 months too late, said Christy Shrilla, a resident and advocate for the homeless in the Tenderloin, who is also a board member of the Tenderloin Community Benefit District. We're 8 weeks into a crisis. The plan, in her estimation, is just not enough. Well, just over 100 feet away from the safe sleeping village, those who were unlucky enough to get one of the up to 60 spots available are grouped here in front of a restaurant bar called Saluna that has sued the city, along with the manager of one SRO hotel and the UC Hastings Law School, over what they feel is a precedent being set by the city for the future of the neighborhood. The suit seeks a court order to block San Francisco from using the area as an alleged containment zone for open-air drug dealing and other crimes, as well as for tent cities of homeless folks. The pandemic has ominously exacerbated dangers and harms to those who live, work, and go to school in the Tenderloin, and it threatens to do so for years to come as successive waves of infection bring further death and despair, the complaint reads. Now, the area that encompasses the safe sleeping village is part of United Nations Plaza, dedicated in 1975 and refurbished in 1995 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the founding of the United Nations. Nearby, there is an obelisk that presents the preamble to the UN Declaration of Human Rights. Whereas recognition of the inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world. So why doesn't the safe sleeping village encompass all of the space we see here? And why did this tiny amount of effort take months to implement? Well, the pandemic did not create the homeless problem in San Francisco. But to me, it has exposed and proven what all of us living here knew to be the truth all along. While the city may have once been known for its protests and liberal way of thinking, this has been a city of haves and have-nots since at least the dot-com boom of the late 90s, when Mayor Willie Brown wanted to turn San Francisco into the Monaco of the West. He gave his ex-girlfriend Kamala Harris a couple of nice appointments along the way to her becoming Attorney General of California. When in office, she decided not to press charges against current Secretary of the Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, for the bank fraud and illegal evictions he oversaw with the TARP bailout money of 2008. But maybe the worst of all is the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, who, while once was a true beacon of women's voices in Congress, can now be seen as completely out of touch with the district she represents. Let's watch her interview with James Corbin from April.
Welcome back. We're here with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and we've asked her to share something from her home for a little late show and tell. Speaker Pelosi, what have you found? What are you going to share with us from your home?
Chocolate.
Really?
Chocolate candy.
Oh, wow.
And this is something you can get through the mail.
Okay.
You never run out. Can I show you?
Me. Yeah, absolutely. This is the episode of Cribs I never knew I needed. Oh, my. Wow.
Other people in our family go for some other flavors, but chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here.
See, I've always felt a connection with you, and now I understand why.
I don't know what I would have done if ice cream were not invented. I just wonder.
I agree. I don't know who I am without it.
So not only is California the fifth largest economy in the world, with a larger GDP than the UK, but San Francisco is also home to not just Silicon Valley, but biotech industry as well. The Bay Area was one of the first in the United States to shut down, and we are still mostly shut down. You would think that with all the resources at our disposal, our economy would have reopened first. But where was biotech? Where was contact tracing? Why hasn't everyone in this relatively small city been tested? The truth is that most of those workers have been happy as a clam working from home or maybe in some far-off exotic location. So while a few lucky San Francisco residents now have a fence and a chalk line around their temporary property, with access to running water for maybe the first time in months, the priority for the politicians seems to be to just get through it. Where will these people go when the pandemic is over? Are they building more shelters? Can those that have a hotel room now stay in it and work towards getting back to a normal life? Or is this just another example of how San Francisco pretends to care about freedom, justice, and peace in the world? While in truth, we patiently wait to get back to our youthful, jubilant, free-spending ways, and to continue to ignore those humans whose meaningless lives are better served in the shadows and out of our immediate view.